Hey folks, how's it going? Welcome back to the show. I'm Sean David. Thanks for tuning in. Let's talk some old school music. In today's episode, I want to talk about one of the most popular groups of the 1990s, a group that is known for hits such as How Deep Is Your Love and Sleeping in My Bed. I'm of course talking about Dru Hill. So in this video, we're going to take a look at the career of Dru Hill and what actually happened, why they broke up, and what exactly happened specifically with Cisco and his folks. Alright, but before we start with this episode, just make sure you hit that subscribe button and enjoy the video. Let's go.
Dru Hill. Their hits so far have included Tell Me and In My Bed, and a new single, Never Make a Promise, will be out next month. Abby Kears took the boys back to Druid Hill for this report.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Today we'll take a look into another 90s R&B group, Dru Hill. But before we take a look at what Dru Hill is doing today, let us take you back to the beginning.
And at the end of the song, we'll be singing a cappella, and just to show people that.
Dru Hill was a popular 90s R&B group that was founded in Baltimore, Maryland in 1992. The group started as R&B artists, but individually expanded to other genres such as soul, hip-hop soul, and gospel. The members of Dru Hill all worked for a local fudge factory called the Fudgery. They often sang to their customers while making fudge to keep them entertained. The group came up with their name from Baltimore's Druid Hill Park, or also known as Dru Hill for short.
Baltimore, your hometown. I assume this is where you guys got
The name. Yeah. By Georgia. Good answer. Good answer.
So what is it like?
The first members of this group were Mark Cisco Andrews, Tamir Nokio Ruffin, James Woody Rock Green, and Larry Jazz Anthony. Dru Hill released We're Not Making Love No More, which was a number 2 R&B hit and number 13 pop hit that was on Soul Food's movie soundtrack.
Love, a time or two, but in the end I still chose you.
This track was written and produced by Babyface in between their first and second album. They also recorded a remake to Carl Carlton's 1981 hit, She's a Bad Bama Jamma, and this was a main single for Def Jam's How to Be a Player in 1997. Dru Hill helped produce and write for Maya on her first 2 singles, It's All About Me and Moving On. In 1997, they battled a lawsuit against Island Records and wanted a release from the label. Once the issue hit the media, Reverend Jesse Jackson made some comments that helped the situation. Soon Dru Hill settled with Island Records and they remained on the label. In 1998, they made their third top 20 pop hit called How Deep Is Your Love. This song was featured on the Rush Hour movie soundtrack. The group's second album, Enter the Dru, had a single called This Is What We Do and featured rapper Method Man. This single helped set the tone for the album. Enter the Dru featured another top 5 single, These Are the Times, which was co-written and co-produced by Babyface. This album sold 2 million copies by 1999. Before a short separation from 1999 to 2002, they released 2 successful albums with Island Records, which were Dru Hill and Enter the Dru. During the separation, Woody and Cisco released solo albums. And matter of fact, Woody actually released a gospel album that had some success. Cisco had 2 hit singles, Thong Song and Incomplete, but his second album wasn't as successful as the first. The next album, Dru World Order, was released late but finally happened in 2002. They joined the new label, now being a part of Def Soul record label. Once reunited, they added a 5th member, Scola, for their 3rd album. Most of the album was produced by Nokio and featured Cisco, Jazz, Woody, and Scola. The single I Should Be was a top 10 R&B and top 30 pop hit. In early 2008, Dru Hill began touring with other 90s artists Tony Tone, Belle Biv DeVoe, and former producer Keith Sweat. On a radio show, Woody Rock announced that he was leaving the group and planned on focusing on his gospel ministry. Scola, who joined the group in 2001, left the group as well. They held a contest in Baltimore to look for a replacement for Woody, and they found Antoine Tao Simpson. They signed to a new label, Kedar Entertainment, in 2009 after being dropped from Def Soul. The next album was released in July of 2010. Independence Day was the group's fourth album. This was the first album with Tao, who replaced Woody. 3 singles were released: Love MD, Remain Silent, and Back to the Future under the new record label. In early 2018, Jazz left the group to work on a solo album, and Tao also left the group in 2019 for the same reason, because he wasn't happy with the group. The Second Coming album featured 2 new additions to the group, Smoke and Black. They came from the group Playa. This last album was released through Drew Hill LLC and Empire Distribution. Soon after, Nokia decided to leave the group as well and spend more time with his family. In the beginning, Drew Hill made appearances on the television show Moesha and The Parenthood in 1997. They were nominated for Favorite Soul R&B Band Group in the American Music Awards. In 1998, they won Best R&B Soul Album and Best R&B Soul Single for In My Bed at the Soul Train Music Awards. Lastly, in 1999, they were nominated in the Kid Choice Awards for Favorite Group. Drew Hill is still performing till this day, going on tour in the US. They also released a Christmas album in 2017.
Feel it holding you so close, nobody could hear us cheer to good cheer. The time we hold near the song.
Is Drew Hill considered a legend in the R&B game? R&B will never be the same as it was in the 90s era. Thanks for tuning in into today's episode about what happened to Drew Hill. If you enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to click that like button and subscribe below. See you next time.
This show is brought to you by Jam Time Machine Radio, the finest of old school black and pop music. Check out www.jamtimemachine.com and listen to non-stop old school black and pop music. Jam Time Machine Radio, more than just music.